Hello.
I'm a marketing manager.
Hey.
Hello. Hey,
How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Our YouTube video premiere just happened and I'm really excited. I don't remember it being so lovely. I mean, it was always lovely, but that was special. I really enjoyed that.
I know it was such a fun day of filming that, wasn't it?
It was. I had the best time. Like I remember we got the call sheet the day before and it was like 7 o'clock on a Sunday. Shoot me in the face, but it was so worth it. I loved it.
Yeah, it was sort of the first day that felt kind of normal, like during this period of time, like where I got to see my mate and just have a full day out of the house. It was such a treat, wasn't it?
It was so nice, yeah, because I mean, we did it with COVID friendly, everybody. You know, we
Hmm.
made sure we had tests and whatnot, and we did our outdoor filming and stuff. But it was, oh my god, it was so much fun. And like,
It was great.
I remember when the concept went through, it was like, okay, so basically we have to dress like a fourth generation iPod Nano. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I was very much here for the aesthetic, like from the get go. I love iPods. I miss them actually.
Me too.
So yeah,
Did you
good.
actually like because when I was back in school, I remember like, I mean, there's loads of people when you're in high school that you fancy and whatever, but one guy in particular,
Mm.
he like made a playlist on like a burned CD and then you upload the burned CD into your iTunes library, then sync it to your iPod. And it was just like the most amazing feeling. You're like, oh my God, I've got his tunes in my earbuds. I feel
Oh my
incredible.
god, yeah. I used to make like the best mixtapes for like mum's car. So when we drive to school, we'd have like all these different like mixes and all full of like pop tunes, like punk tunes, everything, R&B. Like it was like the highlight of the day was like driving to school,
Yeah.
like listening to these mixtapes.
Oh, it's
That was
just
so good.
it was just such a better time, wasn't it? I actually really miss having like a separate device to my phone to listen to music on and
Mm.
like I don't know, like I remember I had like a fifth generation iPod Nano in purple and I just thought I was so badass.
Oh yeah, I mean, I remember like the first iPod I got was like that. Do you remember they had the one that was like U2? It was like black and red.
Yes.
And they did like
Dude.
special edition.
Yes,
I
I
used to
remember
love
that.
that.
I remember it. I was obsessed. But like I'm really like low key hoping that that Apple are like might give them a couple of iPods. Massive
It's
plug
what we
from Litany and
deserve.
Oscar Scheller there.
It's what we deserve. It's what we
It
deserve. I
totally
mean, look,
is.
we've been doing the dirty work, like going out there promoting an archaic object.
Right.
So
Exactly. Exactly. I've got into the habit of doing that. I swear, like most of my artworks for my records are just like vintage memorabilia, like from
yeah,
the
you've got
better
flip
times.
phones. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Actually, like like my mum was always so obsessed with like archaic objects. We even had like a Perspex box, but wasn't allowed to throw any phones out. She would keep them all in this box, almost like a museum.
Oh my god.
Like they became like an art piece. Yeah,
That's so cool. Like what have you got in there?
yeah. Like a lot of flip phones, a lot of those like brick Nokias,
Yeah.
a couple like Sony Ericssons.
What was your
Like
favorite
there's even a
phone?
pager in there.
What was your favorite phone that
Huh?
you ever had?
My favorite phone was the Motorola Razor,
Excuse me.
which was after the Razor. It was like thinner,
Okay.
and I remember I had that one and I was obsessed with it. It was like completely made out of like sort of the front of it was like fiberglass.
Oh my
Um,
god.
yeah, so like, and I actually smashed it because I got frustrated and I threw the phone like across the room and it smashed, so I couldn't
Oh
use it again.
god. Not very good fiberglass then, is it really?
Oh.
No. I think I had this. I once had this phone. It was called I don't know if anyone remembers this. It was called a Siemens Poppy.
A Siemens. I remember Siemens. Oh my god, I completely forgot that Siemens made phones.
Right? Yeah. And it was a like it looked like a Motorola Pebble, but it had like a flower on it, and it had like this when when your flip phone was closed and it had the screen on the outside of the flip. That was a
Yeah.
mirror when it wasn't on. So you'd be in science class like, oh my god, I can see my reflection in my Siemens Poppy. It was so good.
I remember the first phone that I had was it was like I think I sold it. I think I I sold my first phone for some Tic Tacs in my school playground because I thought that was like a good deal.
What a
Because these
trade.
Tic Tacs were like rare, like tropical Tic Tacs, and I had like a brick phone. I was probably like 11 or 12 or
Oh my
something.
god.
Yeah. But
That's so
I think
bad.
the best phones were Motorola, and I'm really sad that we don't have them anymore. Like in the
Hey,
same way.
I heard a rumor that they are bringing out some more Motorola Razrs, but like a touchscreen version. So like when
Right.
they do, low key gonna like sack off this iPhone and go straight to
The
Motorola because
iPhones. I literally.
I'm new to iPhone life
Harry,
and yeah,
Harry. I'm drinking pink prosecco
prosexy.
because
Hang
that's
on,
just
wait.
how fucking legends do it.
I'll show you. I'm on a Shiraz, an Italian Shiraz tonight, folks. What's everyone else drinking? If you're not, what are you playing at? It's a bank holiday weekend here. Is it a bank holiday weekend everywhere? Do they have bank holidays in other countries, or like
I don't
just
know.
national
I
holidays?
turned off my public holiday thing on my iCard. I just turned it off because I was.
Yes, I think that is a nice story for the ages. We were where were we? We were at like an industry party, weren't we? I swear it was like the night that I think it was like the day I released My Dude. And I went to this party and you were there, and I remember someone saying to me like, "Oh, there's Oscar, like you should totally go chat to him, you should work together." And I was like, "What, Oscar Scheller? Oh my god, I love Oscar Scheller." And I went over and you were like, "Oh my god, I love you." And we'd never met, and I swear you were like, I've got to run, but like book a session in, like let's do it, get your calendar out, let's do it. And I think like 2 weeks after that party we got a date in, didn't we? And didn't we write playlist, or was that after? I can't.
Might have done actually because I remember. Or maybe that was after, but I remember so distinctly you coming up to me, or us coming up to each other at that party because everyone's so dry at those industry things, and we were obviously just like, "Bleh!" We probably just had like a bit to drink, and we were like, let's fucking go.
Yeah.
And yeah, I remember just loving your energy and knew that it was going to be the best time in the studio, and we honestly had the best time.
We
I
did.
think playlist we probably wrote that like maybe like our second session.
I
I can't
can't
remember.
remember because like, God's honest, guys, when Oscar and I get together, it's a miracle that things are achieved. It's actually
Yeah.
a miracle that you had a music video to watch this evening. It's a miracle that you had a song to be presented to you at all, because we do just end up chatting shit and
we chat shit for hours, but
hours. Yeah,
it's
our
just the
management
best
must
time
be
though.
so unhappy with us. It's like, so how did your day go, guys? You know, they ring you for the debrief, like at the end of the day. You know, you've had your session. Get a song, any ideas? Well, yeah, we got a little bit of summit, but just mainly talked about like, you know, ocean waves. What were you talking about on the video shoot?
Oh yeah, the video. So fun fact: when I'm talking to Beth, when we're on the bridge and we're sitting down looking at each other lovingly, I'm actually talking to her about riptides because for some reason my friend told me about the danger of riptides that day and was like, "Make sure that you know about the danger of riptides so they can kill you, and like everyone needs to know about the danger of riptides." I was like, first of all, like the amount of times that I'm in the ocean during the year is very small, and so I'm not. No one's really in the danger of get caught in a riptide in the middle of London, are they? But
And as
anyway,
you can tell, like this exact face was the face I'm pulling in the video. I was just like, what the fuck are you talking about?
if you want to know, so you're never supposed to swim against a riptide. You're supposed to just relax and let it take you out to the ocean because 80% of riptides or rip currents will bring you back to shore, and that's all you need to know. So don't swim against it because you'll drown, and we don't want you to drown. We want you
You
to
guys thought
survive.
you were logging on to like a really trivial live conversation between two mildly drunken friends who just released a song together. Actually, you got an infomercial on Riptides. You're welcome.
Sponsored by Rip
Lifeboats
Curl.
UK.
Quicksilver. Sponsored by Quicksilver.
Yeah.
I miss Quicksilver as well. I would still wear their clothes.
Oh,
They should have a comeback.
that's lovely. I love that shit. It was like crack for teenagers, and
They say Britain has no culture. I
right,
disagree.
exactly. It was an
Fish and
amazing
chips
day.
and WKD.
Yeah. To answer your question, Oscar Scheller fan page, we wrote it an awfully long time ago, given that the last year of everybody's lives has been written off. But it was one of those where I feel like it was like every month or so we'd just resend it to each other and be like, remember
This is a
this though?
banger.
This is
Yeah,
a bit of a belter, isn't it? We should
yeah.
definitely release this when like everything starts to brighten up, because I feel like, especially with the video as well, it has such an amazing mood, and like hopefully people other than just the two of us watched it and had a smile on their face, because I know I definitely did throughout the entire 2.5 minutes.
I mean, I had a smile on my face the entire time we were making it.
Oh, you're lovely, you aren't you? You're lovely.
Oh,
I've got some
oh.
more questions. So we've got one from Milster204. Hope I've said her name right. What motivates you during this time, and why did you start making music? Oscar, I'll let you go first.
What motivates me during this time?
Yeah, I guess during
Well,
the pandemic, she means.
I've been incredibly motivated. Weirdly, I don't know how. I think it's just like some kind of survival technique, or I don't know. It's like an instinct to just like keep making stuff, and I've been lucky enough to be able to do that from my home. You know, doing producing and writing for other people, and also like making my own. I made a record and of my own, and yeah, I've been like really
Which was
inspired. And I think it's
amazing, by the way. Sorry to cut in, but your new album
thank
is
you,
it's just wonderful. If anyone hasn't listened to it, go check it out immediately.
thank you.
Continue.
Um, Continue. Yeah. What keeps me creative? I guess I don't know. It's just like being an emotional human being. Like I think there's so much to draw from, and even though life feels like it's slowed down a lot, like I think is everyone's become a lot more reflective,
Yeah.
and because of that, because they have to spend so much time with themselves and really like face themselves, and for me that's been like incredibly motivating in a way, in a creative way, where I'm able to kind of everything's heightened, so it's just like it's really inspiring because
Yeah.
you can speak on that and you can make music, make art and create things from that. So
Yeah.
I would say that's my answer.
Well, that was a fantastic answer. Mine is quite the opposite, actually. So it's interesting. We're like two different sides of the coin, but I felt really unmotivated during this time. I guess just prior to the lockdown, like as a lot of artists in our position did, I had like 3 tours booked across the UK, Europe, and the US, and all of which had to be cancelled. And that was my entire year, just like cancelled in an instant. So it was like, oh God, what do I do now? And I'd had such a successful writing period just before lockdown happened. So it was like, I've kind of said all that I needed to say right now. So actually, like during that time, I think I've said this before in other interviews and things, but I really tried to focus on myself and what would make me happy, not just Litany, what would make Beth happy. And I learned to cook. I moved house about 4 times. I got a dog. And also like I took up like cross stitching and knitting, and I can't tell you guys, it's the most therapeutic, most wonderful hobby ever. So I love
I
that.
love that.
But yeah, making music, I've only just got back into it. So there's the God's honest truth. But the good news is they're all belters, so no need to worry.
I've heard them. I can vouch for that. I've heard all of them, the
Oh,
new material, and it's fucking dynamite.
oh, darling, thank you so much.
It's dynamite. I'll drink to that, love.
Cheers, cheers. I've lost my wine. I don't know where I've put it. I've only had a couple of glasses. What else is going on with me?
I feel like this is your influence, this, because I don't usually drink. I'm more of a
I
I'm
know.
more of a other recreational things.
It's tradition, though.
And
If I ever
you
do
just
any of these,
you
I'm
just
just
make
like,
me want to drink. When I see you, I just want to drink. I want to
oh
grab a
God,
WKD.
it's so insufferable. You're like, I have to have something to get me through it.
Shut up. That's not why. It's because I just want to get on your level.
Oh no, I don't even need drink to get to this level. I'll tell you that for free.
Yeah,
I
true.
have some more questions. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm so ready.
Okay, so this one is from, I really can't pronounce this name. I'm so sorry. Jennifer, but just spelt in a way that I've never seen before. That's really beautiful. What was your favourite line you wrote for this song? So I think we know what. I think we've got
No,
the same one. It started with a girl like you, then be
Yeah.
sure to slow it down. Do it. You're not going to do it, are you?
Damn.
Woo! God, did anyone else's ovaries just flutter?
I'm single, ladies. Don't
All
worry
the
about it.
all the single ladies, get on it. Get on it.
Um,
Yes, that was beautiful. Thank you for
well,
demonstrating that to everybody.
let's talk about that line. So first of all, Edwyn Collins, Girl Like You. If you haven't heard it, literally put it on right now.
Yeah.
Stop what you're doing. Well, don't leave this, but
No, don't.
on your
Yeah, come on,
on your other
disclaimer.
device, on your other device, go look up Edwyn Collins, Girl Like You, and try to tell me that that's not one of the best songs you've ever heard. Second of all, what a sexy song.
It's such a
Third of
sexy
all,
song.
ah, third of all, we had to pay homage to that. Like we had to sew that in. We had to
Well, it's one of those songs that
imbue it.
we'd both talked about it in previous sessions, I seem to remember, or at least like another time that we'd met before, and how that song is
Yeah,
like coincidentally both in our top 3 favorite songs of all time. And it's just one of those that like
yeah.
as soon as you listen to it, you just feel naughty. You feel like
You just feel
sexy.
so cool,
Yeah, it's
cool
just
and
sick.
dangerous, and like smoking a cigarette on the balcony of like a warehouse in 80s
Yes.
LA. You're just
Yes.
like, yeah, I'm gonna get in my car and I'm just gonna go do a crazy deal.
It's just a great song. I remember the first time I heard that track. Like, this is one for the veteran film watchers. Veteran, like, it was in Charlie's Angels, and I think it was the second one, Full Throttle, and they played
Yeah,
that.
with
Yes, they played that
yes,
tune,
I
and
know
it was as
exactly
Drew
what you're gonna
Barrymore
say.
was walking up, and her ass looked incredible, and it played that song, and I was like, yeah, that song is
Yeah,
exactly the right sync for that time in the film. And yeah, it was like when we were thinking about a song that makes you feel saucy, and also it starts with, I've never met a girl like you before. If you're going to send a message or a hidden message in a playlist, it's that line, right? That's it. That is the
yeah.
line. That's the song.
And I've included that in many a playlist, so it's
Oh,
true.
yeah.
It's true to form.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
that leads on to the next question, which was what prompted you to write a song about playlists? And that was just a generic question. I had so many people ask that. So thank you for sending that question in.
Well, so we had the session that day, and I was like, "What do you want to write about? What mood are you in?" Obviously, we had like fucking hours of catch up, and I think at the time you were sort of not seeing someone, but you were kind of there was a situation going on, and it was a bit unclear. And
Is it
this
ever
guy,
clear? Girls, are you with me? Is it ever clear?
this guy sent you a playlist, and you couldn't make heads or tails of it. And I think we were sort of trying to figure out what it meant. And
Mm.
I was like, oh, maybe he's like done a hidden message in it. So like every song starts with a letter that spells something out. I was
That
thinking
just
like maybe it's
Just
that kind
that
of vibe.
you did that. That was why you'd said it. Didn't you like send a playlist to someone? Because I was
Yeah.
trying to like decode this thing or even find out if this dude was like into me. Was his playlist trying to tell me that he wanted to like get a bit freaky? You were like, well, it might do because I sent a playlist to this girl and I like spell out what I wanted to say with the song titles. It's like, you fucking crafty genius.
Listen, I'm a romantic. What can I tell you? And I just think like if a boy sends a girl, if you send anyone music and it's a collective, you've really put your heart into it and you've really thought about it, like, and you've taken that care in that time. For me, that is like such a significant sort of I suppose like display of affection and like almost a display of intention. For me, like when I send people music, there's intent behind it.
Yeah.
And so I thought he sent you this playlist. He's like clearly thinking about you, wants you to think about him while you're listening to the music. So I think we both kind of thought about what the playlist meant, and then we were like, oh, we should just write a fucking song about
Well,
this.
yeah,
Like we should write.
I
But
remember
but
like that. I remember just coming in and telling you that, like, you were like, oh, what's going on with you? And quite literally, I just said, oh, well, there's this guy, and like, I'm really attracted to him, and I think there's a vibe. I don't know, but he just sent me this playlist, and like every song seems to be about like loving a woman, and I was like, well, is that a message? Do you know what I mean?
Wait, I'm just looking at
I've just seen
Jade's
Jade
comment. Can't they
Johnston's
just say they
comment.
like
Yeah,
us?
I've just seen it. Jade Johnston, can't they just say they like us? Well, you'd think so, wouldn't you? See,
Jade
Oscar's a
Johnston
straightforward
for
kind of
Prime
guy.
Minister. Jade Johnston for Prime Minister.
Yeah, PM. But
PM.
Oscar, you would tell someone you like them, wouldn't you? You're what we call a very nice gentleman.
Yeah, but I'm an anomaly. I don't, because I've been raised predominantly by women. I have a very like female, gentle, sensitive, feminine perspective on a lot of things,
Yeah.
including like romance. And I definitely wear my heart on my sleeve. So yes, I will tell people if I like them. But
Oh.
that doesn't always work.
No, well, I
So
know this is the problem. Like, so
that's
Jade,
the
I
sad
I
thing.
hear you and I'm with you. However, discuss people in the
Okay,
comments. Discuss in the
I'm gonna.
comments, everyone. When a guy or a girl tells you really upfront and honestly, like at the start, that they're into you, does that like low key make you want to be like, oh God, they like me? Like, you know.
Look, here's my take on it. We are animals, right? And
Mm,
animals love the chase. And humans also love what they can't have. They love to
yes.
be desired. They love to desire. They love forbidden romance. They love a challenge, right? So it's kind of innately a human thing to kind of not, you want the chase. Like part of the thrill is just not really knowing, like, oh, like you're constantly guessing. So I feel like there is an element where if someone says, I want to fuck you, or I want to be your girlfriend or boyfriend or whatever it is, however explicit or implicit it is, there's an element to that where it is quite like, oh my God, like that, what do you mean? Like, I don't
Yeah.
understand, because we're almost so conditioned to need things to be masked and sort of in a veil, and like
It's the
everything's
game.
coded.
It's the
It's the
game.
game.
That's what it
Because
is.
if you say, I think if you're like, if you're kind of available emotionally and physically, that can really freak people out. They're just not used to it. They don't, like, depending on what attachment style they are, what star sign they are, what personality type they are. There's so many variables. So it's like you just don't know, because you could say that to someone, they'll be like, "Great, game on," or you could
Yeah.
say that to someone and they'll get the ick, or they'll just be like,
Yes.
"Nah."
As Eric in the comments has just put, it's only off putting when it's not mutual. I think that's it. But it's like, there might, I'm getting really deep here, but like, what if there wasn't an ick and it was developing quite nicely, but you're just not like emotionally ready for something? And if you jump the gun and say, I like you too quickly, are you ruining all the chances? I don't know. Maybe I'm just a psycho, but I did write star sign, and that talks about my commitment phobe tendencies. So who knows?
I think commitment is something that a lot of people are kind of phobic of, and I think it's also because I'm a millennial.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about everyone watching, but I think we're given so many options, and we're kind of taught to think about what's next, and we're very like future centric. And well, actually, like humans in general, we worry about the future, but I think because we're constantly thinking about finding the right one, or
The
like,
one.
the one, or whatever the story is that you tell yourself. I think we're just scared of not finding the right one, so it's like we don't, by doing that, we kind of don't want to commit to anything, because we're nervous that, well,
Exactly.
maybe I'm talking about
No,
myself here,
you're
but
not. I think that's a universal thing. It's like, I'm
yeah.
this guy or this girl, it's going really well, but like, oh God, if I commit some time to them or commit myself to them, I could
Mm.
potentially waste like 3 years of my life, and then they're not the
And
one
they're
or
not
whatever. It's just
yeah.
it's a narrative that's like somehow still here and still so prevalent, when in actuality,
Well,
like, if you like them, just fucking take the trousers off and get on with it, for God's sake.
I also, I'll drink to that. But I also think that there's an element where it's almost like a thing of self-acceptance, like, and also like self-knowing, because I think the more you know yourself, the more comfortable you're going to be in any situation, the more secure you'll feel. And I
Mm.
think by being with someone in a relationship or otherwise, you start to see, it's a reflection, it's a mirror. Like, So if you're with someone and you're not in the right place, like that's just, it's gonna completely reflect that. So I think a lot
Exactly.
of people often aren't ready to be in those situations, or they, you know, they kind of I've definitely forced myself to think that I'm ready for something.
Yeah.
And because, you know, it's like normalized to be like, oh, you don't want to be alone, like you don't want to, you want to be in a relationship, because
Yeah.
that's kind of like what we're told, that like being alone is a negative thing. So I think there's also that as well. Like there's so many elements to this. Oh, fucking
Hmm.
hell, we've gone really deep. But
We've gone really deep. I've just seen, like, can we give these guys a chat show? If there is a petition that reaches, how many people are we on now? 72 signatures. We'll do it
yeah,
bi-weekly.
I'll get Channel 4 or BBC, whoever on the phone. We'll call Netflix. To Netflix? No, not
Do you know
Netflix.
what though? I think that this has been really therapeutic for me. Like I'm currently,
Good.
I've said it on my channel a lot of times, I'm going through a breakup right now. It's not been the easiest thing in the world. I've just moved into a one bed by myself with my dog, and it's great. I'm getting through it, but like, God, it's hard. And all of this chat is like really helping me. So I hope it's healing everybody else as well.
Yeah,
I've
I
got
feel
another
very healed
question to detract away
just seeing
from
your
that bit
face.
because that's really awkward. Hashtag breakup. This one is from Yayito. Again, I'm so sorry if
Great name.
not. I know it's sick, but I'm sorry again if I've pronounced it wrong. What songs are on your playlist? Oh, it's funny you should say that, Yayito, because Oscar and I. Oh my God, some
Um,
cheeky self pride, my babe. We've also
we've
got
got
Stranger's Kiss by Alex Cameron and Angel Olsen, which, if anyone hasn't heard that track, it came out a few years ago now, but it's probably one of my favourite modern day duets. Like, seriously, it's phenomenal. They, man, so good.
yeah. There's a few bangers on there, so we won't spoil them all.
No,
But yeah,
but you should, guys, we're going to release that playlist to you
is it
probably.
tonight?
Probably not tonight because I don't want to bombard everybody. We've been talking bollocks for a good hour or so. I don't want to, like, that's a lot of info for one night.
True.
But maybe over the weekend because it's a nice long bank holiday, so you can get your teeth stuck into it. And also, once you've got bored of it, we're gonna make sure you guys can add some of your favourite collaborations to our playlist. And then it can just be a full collaboration experience.
Oh yeah,
I feel like that would be quite nice. So I'm looking forward to that.
that'll be the vibe.
It's a vibe.
It's the vibe.
I'm just trying to see if we've got any more questions. I've now got to the point where the chat has scrolled, so I'm now having to use technology whilst on another form of technology, and it's not serving me very well.
Okay, Nancy and Lee. Is that Nancy Sinatra?
We've got
Someone's
Nancy
asking Nancy and
Sinatra on
Lee.
there, haven't we,
We've
already?
got Nancy Sinatra on there, yeah.
I've got a question for someone, and they wanted me to ask it to everybody on the live. So I can see there's 83 people watching us right now. So, 85. I'm sorry in advance to those 85 that you've been subjected to this shit. But they've said, can you ask your viewers what a good name for a playlist is? I'm trying to, like, I'm actually really proud of my own playlist that I've got on my Spotify. I'm just going to plug it here for just a sec. Because obviously I'm called Litany. A playlist is called a playlist. So I called it Playlit. Quite
Yeah,
underwhelming, I know, but I'm actually really proud of that because puns are great.
I would say so I've got a few private playlists. I'm big on playlists. I love them. I actually, before Spotify, I made a lot of playlists on my iTunes, and I would often, a good rule of thumb, I think, is if there's a song's lyrics that you love, I think it's really nice to name a playlist after like a certain lyric in a song that you really like.
Yes, I agree.
Which I've seen that done, and I think it's really nice. I mean, let me have a look on my Spotify. I've got one called Stoned Alone, Stoned, comma Alone. I think that's a good one. I've got Emo. It's quite short and sweet, sort of self-explanatory. I've got one called however you want. I don't know. There's Pretty Like a Peach. Yeah, that's a lyric.
Yes, that's your own lyric.
That is my own lyric.
Another self plug there, guys. Again, 10 a penny in this chat.
Yeah, I think it's just like whatever. Like, it's nice to just whatever mood. The mood. It's the mood.
I'm just looking through mine. I have shit. So much shit. The best shit. Why is everything about shit? I don't know. I'd be really interested to hear what yours are like, because apparently me and Oscar have no imagination.
Yeah, I've got one called Big Tunes. Big Tunes. That's a good
one. I've got some more questions here coming in on Instagram. Well, that one's obvious. Have you ever made a playlist for someone? We've talked about that. How do you go about making the perfect playlist? It's all about knowing the person, right? Knowing the audience or the person really, really well. Knowing what your goal is with that person as well.
So if it's I would say I second that emotion with what Beth just said about if it's for somebody, it's really important to know your audience. And it's almost like you want to imagine you're DJing for them. Like you want to think about like the tempo, the progression, like the the gradient of mood. Like, do you want to start sexy? Do you want to end sexy? Do you want to start like it's almost like you have to do it by mood and like tempo. And just like if you're DJing in front of people, you don't want to start at 150 BPM because like there's nowhere to go from there. So you kind of want to like ease people in. And then
start it with A Girl Like You, then make sure to slow it down.
Slow it down.
Playlist.
But if you're doing it for yourself, which is important to make playlists for yourself, I think that's a really nice thing to do. And got to give yourself that love and that attention. So I would say if you're doing it for yourself, my tip is to sort of, I'm trying to think, if you do it for yourself, I think it's like, it's almost like it's about the sequencing of it. Again, it's like knowing where you want to start and finish. I think like topping and tailing it is really important.
My thing is as well, like just basically, again, I completely agree with everything you have just said. But my only thing when I'm making a playlist, whether it's for myself or for someone else, my thing is like when you have on Spotify or whatever streaming platform you use, there's usually a crossfade option. And I spend far too long finding like if my crossfade is at like 15 seconds or something, it's like which song mixes perfectly into the next song, and it's like I know, right? And I sequence them so it all just like glides really nicely into each other. I do think I'm a world-class DJ. I'm not, but that
you are.
But also, like whilst we're on here, how long after are we? 40 minutes after everyone watched the YouTube premiere of our video. I mean, I hope everyone loved it. We definitely enjoyed making it. Does anyone want to watch it again? Because I'd kind of want to watch it again. I mean,
I wouldn't say no.
Should we? I feel like I can maybe do that on this app that we're on. We're using Rodeo, which is a new app on YouTube, which is how we're talking to each other with this beautiful little banner below and above us here. So I think if I just press this button, we can watch our music video all together. So I'm going to do that now and we can talk about it. Here we go. Oh my gosh. During this section, Donnie, who filmed it and directed it, who is a legend, thank you, Donnie, he was like, Beth, can you please stop walking so fast? Like, you're not trying to catch a tube. Can we just calm down?
Oh my god. And while this was being filmed, I literally sat in the car eating a croissant and drinking tea because it was so cold. It was a really cold day.
Yes, it was chilly.
Beautiful. It was beautiful weather, but it was chilly. Yeah.
That side eye to the camera just there, I was so pleased with that.
Oof, yeah, that was cheeky.
Also, I said it in the comments earlier, but at this exact moment, you can see when my arse falls off the roundabout, and I'm like holding on.
Yeah, you really
life.
struggled with the spinning. I found it easy. I didn't.
Yeah, because
Oh,
your
there he is.
spinning was so much slower than mine. My spin was just like, right, we're going hell for leather. So what the hell is this shit?
Oh, this was that we had to wait for the street to clear when I was filming this bit, and you can see there's one guy who shoots me a glance, and you'll see I shoot him a glance back, like quite awkwardly.
When's this?
Oh my god, this was so hard to walk on.
I'm gonna have to pause this because
Beth was absolutely terrified to walk on this, because actually there was one side of that bridge that was a lot higher than the other for some reason, and you were in like sort of platformy shoes. Oh my god, that was hilarious. And then do you remember at one point they were like, because we started filming quite early, and so the playground was empty, and then all of a sudden there was just like loads of kids and parents waiting to get on that thing.
They all queued so patiently, and I felt terrible for taking their play park on a Sunday morning, but we did, like, disclaimer, we got up at the crack of dawn to film this music video.
Did.
Like, my makeup artist Lucy Gibson, who is a wonderful human being, she got a taxi from Watford at 6 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday to come and beat my mug. And we turned up at, like, was it just before 8? In full costume, didn't we? You'd already filmed some of your things, and we had the park for about 2 or 3 hours before anybody showed up. But that scene on the wobbly bridge was as everyone, as you say, was showing up with their children, and I just couldn't walk. I hadn't been drinking, anybody, before you say anything snarky. I hadn't been drinking, but I just couldn't walk on that wobbly bridge. I don't remember it ever being so bloody difficult to walk on those things. But I think
it's easier when you're lower gravity, when you're literally like a child. Like,
your point of gravity is way lower. You're like a hobbit.
Imagine what it was like for me. I'm a beanpole. Imagine me trying to walk on that, but I was fine. I think I did quite well.
How tall are you, by the way?
6'3.5".
Oh, see, I said you were 6'4", so I wasn't too far off.
I'm basically 6'4".
You are. You're 6'4" and single, guys. Just another reminder there. Oscar is single, currently on the market. I'm going to play the video again, but like now you know that this was the hardest thing to shoot ever because we just couldn't walk. We had to swap sides about 4 times because I was just like, this just isn't working, is it? But yeah, you'll see the expression on my face now. I'll play it. Like that. Oh god, we're walking again.
Oh my days.
Oh, I didn't know Donnie was going to put that in the final cut where we were just like pissing ourselves on the bridge, but I'm really glad it made it.
It's really cute, isn't it?
Yeah. Come over. Oh, that
we were laughing so much.
Nice.
Laughing constantly. We just couldn't stop cracking up.
We were, and that bit I've paused it. Sorry, guys, I've paused it just again because that scene as well where we're swapping headphones took way longer than it should have done.
Chaos, absolute chaos.
Like a little bit of an inside piece of information here. The headphones that I were using were far too modern for the iPod that we were using, and I had to plug it into the charging dock.
It was so hacked.
It was just terrible, and it just kept falling out all the time. So when we were trying to make this like super like normal plug in the headphones, you know, I was just like, it doesn't fit, so I'm just gonna have to like jam it in and probably break the iPod. But never mind, it took a long while to shoot this scene. But never mind.
It did.
I'll keep playing it because I actually love this bit. There's like a little exchange coming up soon that just brings me so much joy. No.
That's my favourite bit.
Me too, because we're actually just properly killing ourselves laughing, aren't we?
I know.
And my bloody hat's falling off and all sorts. Oh. This bit when you cross your legs up, I'm like, oh, I'm deceased. And that look right there. Give Oscar an Oscar. You're so in love.
I am.
Oh, guys, look at that.
Love that. Love that.
Oh, and look, I'm thinking about you with no clothes on. That's
I
it.
know.
That's the shot right there.
That's the money shot.
Oh my God. I thoroughly enjoyed watching that over and over again. Oh,
Me too.
got a dog.
Yeah. Lemmy.
Ooh, which dog is it?
Whose dog is that?
Who's that? Well,
So
yeah. I feel like I've answered every question. I try not to miss any of them. I'm so sorry if I did, but I think we've answered the majority of the questions, and
I think so.
I've thoroughly loved this. I've loved talking to you like this and being able to
Me
like
too.
watch the video together with all of you guys. There's 100 of you
Been
on
really
here
special.
now, so thank you for taking time out of your Thursday night to hear us talk absolutely no sense whatsoever.
Well, we should start a podcast on love and attachment.
I think we should, I've really
We might
enjoyed
as
this. I
well.
found it incredibly healing for the soul.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, I really have. So I'm run out of wine, guys. So it's actually time to top up, time to sign off. And oh, hang on, I have a dog now. It somehow happens to be this dog. Here she is.
Oh,
Hiya,
she's so
baby. Oh
beautiful.
my God, I'm gonna make you a playlist tomorrow. Yes, I am. Oscar, I love you so much.
I
I've
love you too.
absolute pleasure finally getting to release a song with one of my favourite people on this planet. You are the kindest, most loveliest person in music, and I adore you and your talent.
Well, it's completely mutual. I'm very, very honoured to be sharing this song with you, and yeah, I'm so happy it's out.
Me too.
And that people can send it to their crush, because that's why we
Yes.
fucking made this tune.
Exactly.
Send it to your crush.
Just send it to everybody. I think if you
Send
said
it to
the other
your
day, send
mum
it to your
and your
mum, your
dad
dog,
and
your
your brothers
dad,
and sisters.
your weird uncle that you don't really talk to very much, but you might get
Just
a
send
kick
it to
out of
him.
listening to it. Just send it everywhere, because I think this song's pretty decent and it deserves to be heard by the masses.
I think so.
On that note, add playlist to all of your playlists. This has been an absolute pleasure. We love you guys, and enjoy the rest of your Easter weekend. Mwah!
Love you.
Love you
Bye.
all. Love you, Oscar.
Love you.